when the men of Asaba were taken. They came for the men first. Not because the men were armed. Not because they were dangerous. But because they were men, and in war, manhood itself can be mistaken for guilt. In Asaba, the men were builders of ordinary miracles. They rose early, not to fight, but to work. They knew the weight of responsibility, feeding families, paying school fees, settling disputes, praying quietly for peace. They carried towns on their backs without ever asking for monuments. In October 1967, those same shoulders were marked for death. The men were summoned under the promise of safety. Told to gather. Told that the soldiers wanted to identify civilians. Told that obedience would mean survival. Many believed it, because belief is what good men do when they have done nothing wrong. They dressed in the best. Some wore their best shirts, creased, washed, respected. Fathers stood tall beside their sons, wanting to look calm so the boys would not panic. Elder brothers placed reassuring hands on younger shoulders. Men who had lived through colonial rule, through hardship, through loss, still believed that reason would prevail. They sang the national anthem. Imagine that moment, hundreds of male voices rising together, not in rebellion, but in loyalty. Voices that had called children home at dusk. Voices that had negotiated peace between neighbors. Voices that had spoken vows, prayers, promises. Then the bullets answered. Men fell where they stood. Some instantly. Some slowly. Some reaching for sons they could no longer protect. Blood soaked into the ground that had once known only their footsteps. The men of Asaba, strong, unarmed, trusting, were cut down in minutes. About 700 men and boys died that day, but the loss of the men carried a special cruelty. Even the general that led this massacre is still described as a national hero. His name is. Subscribe to Get the Full History.